G'day everyone, how's it going? I'm here today with probably one of the most awesome games in existence, Joestar Struck. Obviously an official JoJo game. So, let's get into it, shall we? As I walk up the slope, trying not to drag my feet, students wearing the same uniform walking along the same incline, split into little groups and talking animatedly, even though it's so early in the morning. Why the hell are they so happy? This school has one of the worst reputations in the whole city. But I guess it takes a special kind of person to come to a school like this. The kind of person who doesn't care that they're going to a school designed especially for delinquents. Or maybe I'm just grumpy. Mornings aren't my thing. I kick a rock along with me, going as far to veer on my path when I kick it too far out of the way. All these kids be damned. This rock will be my new friend. Not that I have the intention of not making friends at this new school, but starting a school year in the middle of a semester wasn't going to be easy. Everyone's already gotten into their little friend groups, already bonded. Not much room for a new kid. Especially one who isn't even a delinquent. I kick the rock a little too forcefully and it skitters far ahead of me. I watch in slow motion as it zooms towards a storm drain. Plop. I just killed my one and only friend. So, this is it, huh? I was expecting busted windows and weeds. Maybe a little bit of an ominous lighting. It looks like any other school. The kids too. Sure, there's more than a few crazy hairstyles and most have taken very generous liberations with the uniform. They're not that bad. No, can't get weak. Even if I'm lonely, I can't let my guard down. If I do, the next thing I know, I'll be in a gang committing petty crimes and arson. Gotta stay on my toes. Constant vigilance. Hey there. I jump and immediately take on a defensive stance that I've seen in old kung fu movies. The guy laughs and looks me up and down. Whoa there, pal. I ain't looking for trouble. He seems nice enough. I ease my fists down. So I guess I was right to assume that you're the new kid, right? Mr. Jonathan told me you'd be coming today. Uh... Mr. Jonathan? That's our homeroom teacher. I guess he lets us call him by his first name to appeal to the youth or whatever. The guy shrugs. He's pretty straight-laced, but he's cool. Mr. Jonathan asked me to give you a little tour. Oh, yeah. Josuke, by the way. What should I call you? Do I only have one choice, or... Oh, I type. Yep. That makes sense. I'm Azrael. That's it, I'm in. Well, Azrael, let's get going, shall we? Josuke shows me around. Kids are milling around the hallways and filtering into classrooms, paying us little mind. Everything actually looks pretty ordinary. Huh? Nothing. Just this place might actually be a little nicer than the school I used to go to. Well, you know what they say. You don't judge a book. You don't judge a book by its asshole alert. Wait, you don't judge a book by its asshole alert? That's a new one. Wait, what? Before I have time to ask, a guy bounds up to us and wraps an arm around Josuke's neck like they're best of buds. By Josuke's face, I can tell that's most likely not the case. Oi, Josuke-chan. Josuke sighs through his nose and doesn't bother to hide his annoyance. Told you not to call me that. Guy pinches Josuke's cheek. I told you to call me senpai, but you don't. This is what people call a stalemate, Josuke-chan. Josuke huffs and shrugs the guy's arm off him. Shouldn't you be in class? Nah. Josuke scoffs. What do you mean, nah? Class isn't optional. It is when I have bigger fish to fry. I've been quietly watching the exchange the whole time. Now the guy's eyes fall on me. Speaking of fish I'd like to fry. He holds his hand out to me. I'm Joseph Joestar. Did you just call me a fish? Joseph grins before giving me a lazy wink. Well, if you're a fish, then I'll be water. What the hell is that even supposed to mean? Interpret it as you will. Wait, so you were the person frying the fish? Or are you the water? Both. Josuke rolls his eyes and rests his hand on his cock tip. Stop harassing the new kid and just tell us what you want. Joseph straightens up and finally gets to the heart of the matter. Have you seen Caesar around? The bell rings, signaling that class is starting. The last few stragglers in the hallway disappear into different doors, leaving the three of us alone. Joseph doesn't seem perturbed in the slightest. He's probably in class, like he's supposed to be. Like you're supposed to be. Joseph sticks his tongue out at Josuke playfully. Don't act like you don't cut class, Josu-chan. Me and the new kid aren't fooled in the slightest. Clear that Josuke is about to sputter some response. The Joseph guy gives a hearty laugh and claps him on the back. I'm sorry, man. Only teasing you. You just make it so easy. What's Caesar look like? How does one explain the person who is Caesar Zappelli? Josuke rolls his eyes. Let's see. Picture me, but about 13% less sexy and a lot more blonde. We haven't seen him. Well, damn. That bastard knows we have a date at the fountain this morning. Oh, you guys finally dating? What do you mean finally? The stud is flying solo. He winks at me. That is, until this stud finds the right little fishy. I must make a weird face because Joseph breaks into a gale of laughter. When he calms down, he points at Josuke. Caesar-chan and I have a race. Loser has to buy lunch. The yellow belly is taking his dear sweet time. At this rate, my racer isn't going to be in peak physical condition. So it's not you two who's racing? Then who? Joseph puts a finger to his lips. Best not to ask questions. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go track down that Italian bastard. See ya. Well, that guy is certainly something. Josuke laughs. Yeah, that's certainly one way to put it. But really, not a bad guy. He's just rambunctious. Yeah, that's a good word. He sucks in a deep breath and lets his cheek pop out before exhaling it. So anyways, let's get back to that tour. Josuke is really talkative, giving me people to watch out for, pointers on how to fit in, other odds and ends of information. He's quick to laugh and has a certain charm that makes me feel at ease. Well, that's our humble little school. Guess it's time to get to class now. I don't know. That roof could probably use another looking over, don't you think? You serious? You suggesting that we cut class? His eyes are gleaming with mischief. I smile back at him. Don't you dare tell Joseph. He'll never let me live it down. Sounded to me like he already knows you're a delinquent who cuts class. That's true. Can't do anything without that guy knowing. Like the bastard has a sixth sense or something. But anyways, Josuke raised a fist into the air. To the rooftop! Soon as we step on the roof, Josuke stretches his arms to the sky and tilts his head up towards the sun. Ah! Feels far too good to be out here. It feels far too good out here to be cooped up in a classroom. The way he's stretching out in the sunlight kinda reminds me of a cat. Cute. Hey Azrael. He motions for me to follow him further onto the rooftop. Come on, let's get comfortable. He lays down on the ground, wasting no time in stretching out. His eyes are closed and there's a content smile on his face, only furthering my thoughts of him being like a cat. I lay down next to him. Wow, I get the appeal of this. Sun really does feel good. I close my eyes and enjoy the sound of the breeze, rustling the trees around the school. When the soft wind reaches us, it smells earthy and fresh. At this rate, I'm gonna fall asleep. So, what brought you to this school? I look over at Josuke, my body feeling lazy and heavy from the sun. By the way his eyelids were drooping, I can tell he's feeling the same. Uh, I killed a man. Josuke grins. That so? Yep, I threw that bastard down a storm drain and he drowned. Wow, you're a stone cold killer. The irony of that statement kills me. If only he knew. What are you in for? Same, believe it or not. What a coincidence. Yeah, except it was a bank heist gone wrong. Ah, been there, done that. Definitely not fun. Josuke and I look at each other with serious expressions before breaking into fits of giggles. As we mellow out, I'm struck by how wonderful this scene is. Fat clouds ambling across the blue sky, lungs full of cool air, skin warm with laughter and sunlight. Sharing it all with a pretty boy. Pretty cool boy. I meant pretty cool. Definitely not pretty. Okay, so Josuke's pretty. Certainly not the first time I've thought it. This school is pretty chill. The people are a bit eccentric. They're friendly. I can see myself having a good school year here. The sleepy groan, Josuke sits up. He runs his hair. He runs his hair. He runs his hands through the back of his hair, seeming to make sure everything is still in its place. We should probably head back before Mr. Jonathan freaks. I nod my head reluctantly. I could stay up here all day, but Josuke's right. Everyone looks at us when we enter the room, as to be expected. Teacher Mr. Jonathan stops writing on the board and gives us both a sunny smile. Terrifying. There you are. I was wondering if you two had gotten lost. He looks to me and smiles even brighter. Wow, if he keeps this up, I'm gonna go blind! You must be Azrael. Great to meet you. What's up? I can see his smile slips slightly, but he seems to take it in stride. He's probably used to informal speech from students after all. Did Josuke give you a good tour? I hope he wasn't too troublesome. We only did a handful of petty crimes, nothing federal, rest assured. Jonathan shakes his head and Josuke laughs before heading to his seat. Would you like to introduce yourself to the class, Azrael? I very much would like to not do it. But I know it's a rhetorical question. I turn to the class. Hi, I'm Azrael. Okay, so far so good. I'm here to crack some skulls and learn some shit. Okay, the final statement. I got this. Glare at everyone intimidatingly. The class looks unimpressed. Well, I guess it's to be expected from a group of battle-worn delinquents. Still, at least they know I'm a force to be reckoned with. Okay then. Jonathan claps his hands together. We got a few seats available. Whichever one you want. Choose it. I'm the cool kid, so I'm gonna sit in the back where any student would agree that the back of the class is the sweet spot of seats. So my, so my choice is a no-brainer. Excuse me. I hike my backpack up onto my shoulder, make a beeline to the back of the room. As I situate myself, Mr. Jonathan launches back into his lesson. Within minutes, I fall back into the normal school routine of taking notes and zoning out. Seems that school is the same anywhere you go, really. When the class ends, Yosuke is the first to grab his bag and leave. I shrug to myself and grab my own bag. Azrael, would you mind staying back for a minute or two? Sure? Again, for another request that I have to fulfill even if I don't want to. Teachers have too much power. Sure. I hang back as the class filters out. When the last student leaves, I'm completely alone with Mr. Jonathan. I can't help but notice again how frickin' big he is. Could break me like a damn toothpick if he wanted to. But when he smiles like that, Can't imagine him hurting a fly. How was your first day? Is this really what he wanted to talk to me about? Huh? That's kinda sweet, actually. I could get used to it. Oh, before I forget. He goes to his desk and grabs a neatly stapled packet of papers. You live close to one of your fellow classmates. He holds the papers out to me. He didn't come to class today, so I thought you could drop these off on your way home. It'll be a great way for you to meet the last of our little class. I take the packet from him, look over the first page. It was the stuff we went over in class today. Sure, that shouldn't be a problem. Jonathan smiles at me. Thank you, Azrael. He leans forward a little. Thank you for joining our class. I know things are a bit different to Uniku Academy, but I know you're gonna do great. I leave quickly, a light blush creeping to my cheeks. The packet of papers, with a packet of homework Mr. Jonathan gave me, I follow the directions to this Jotaro's house. He lives on the same street as me, so this shouldn't take long. As I look for the house number scribbled on the post-it note, my gut clenches in anxiety. What I've heard about Jotaro comes to mind and I gulp. Can't be that bad. I'm sure what I was told was just an exaggeration or something. Sure, he seems to have a reputation at school, at a school made for delinquent punks. How bad can it be? I mean, I go to that school and it's not like I deserve... Oh. I found it. It's only a handful of houses away from mine. I double check the house number to make sure it's correct before stepping onto the front door. Stepping up to the front door. Not stepping on it. Letting out a deep breath, I press the doorbell. It's quiet. Can't hear any footsteps from the inside. Or at least a voice reassuring me someone is on their way to answer. I ring the doorbell again. Still quiet. Maybe nobody is home. I lean back and check the driveway. As I do, the door clicks as if it's being unlocked. I stand up straight to greet who answered the door and find myself face to face with the broodiest mug I've ever seen. My words fail me. This Jotaro? This tall, beefy mofo that's staring at me as if hoping I evaporate where I stand. I open my mouth to speak, but I don't know where to begin. Hey, handsome. Feeling lonely in this big ol' house? Want some company? I'm the new kid at your school and wouldn't mind a new friend. I hold my breath and watch Juro's glare darken. He hates me already. Relax. I was joking. What the hell do you want? He spoke in a near snarl, and I momentarily considered just dropping the homework on the welcome mat and booking it out of there. Homework! I held up the packet. Mr. Jonathan asked me to drop it off. I live down the street, so takes the paper out of my hands and I trail off. I'm Azrael, by the way. Whatever. I watched Jotaro flip through the papers. That was really all I needed to do. I guess I can just excuse myself and go home, but you are Jotaro, right? He looks back at me as if to confirm. Really is nice to meet you, Jotaro. I'll see ya. He shuts the door in my face without a word. Around. I scoff under my breath. Arsehole. But that only means my little task is done. Turn around to leave the property and head straight for my house to conclude the day. Where the hell's the snooze button? There it is. Alright. I'm up. I sit up tiredly and look at my clock. The little glowing numbers tell me it's still pretty early. I'd set it early with the intentions of getting to school before everyone else does and maybe talking with Mr. Jonathan a bit more. But now that it's actually time to put effort into the idea, I'm not so sure. The snooze button is looking like a damn temptress. Snooze! I cave into my sleepy desires and smack the snooze button. The bed's so toasty. The morning started as per usual. I got dressed, ate breakfast, and was out the door with time to spare. Time for my second day at Uniku Academy. I consider picking up the pace to avoid the inevitable crowd school gates, but then I found myself standing in front of Jotaro's house. My eyes go from the front door, the curtained windows, out towards the street leading to school. I took in a contemplative breath while thinking back to our interaction the day before. He definitely thinks I'm weird. I could make up for it and invite him to walk to school. But would he even go? I was told he frequently ditches. But he's not even home. I shift on my feet, urging myself to make a decision. I'll invite him to walk to school together. I gather up my nerve and approach the door. I only ring the doorbell once. Just once. If he doesn't answer, then he's either out or still asleep. If he's still asleep, then I'd just be a jerk if I woke him up with a doorbell. I take in a breath and press the button. I can hear the chime from inside and steel myself where I stand. Damn, that sounded louder than before. A countdown starts in my head as I stare at where the door meets the door frame. Before my anxiety significantly builds, I hear the same click of the door lock. Jotaro cracks open the door and looks at me, as silent as ever. It's making me nervous. Good morning. I give a slight bow in greeting. I was thinking, my eyes seem to focus on everything else but his face. Want to walk to school together? In an attempt to be polite, I try to smile. But it feels like I'm just giving away how uncool he's making me feel. Jotaro doesn't even seem to react. I mean, if you're even going today. I try to save myself, but before given a real chance, Jotaro starts to close the door. No. The door clicks shut. I'm left in the same spot as yesterday. Maybe I'd be lying if I said I wasn't expecting this. I turn around and continue to walk to school by myself. Didn't even take more than 10 steps when I heard the banging of a door closing behind me. The voice of a younger kid calling out to someone. You're gonna get in trouble if you skip too many days, stupid. Make sure you go sometime this week. I turn around, curiosity getting the better of me. See some girl wearing the local middle school uniform leaving Jotaro's house. Her hair styled into twin buns with her bangs dyed pink. They have a middle school for delinquents too? The expression on her face reminds me of Jotaro's edgy broodiness, but with a girlish twist. A sister? Or daughter? The latter wasn't entirely impossible. I keep walking to avoid coming across as vicious as she passes me in no time. As unlikely as it seems, I wonder if I'll learn the whole story behind this girl and Jotaro. Probably not. Next morning, I start my walk to school. Surely it's been taking some adjusting to this place, but I can say that I like it. I muse over the past few days when I reach Jotaro's house. My steps start to falter when someone comes out of the front door. It's the same middle schooler I saw last time. Her twin buns wrapped tied on top of her head, and below those dyed bangs, scowl reminiscent of Jotaro's. Hi. Good morning. I call out to her and she stops to look at me. Her eyes are as piercing as Jotaro's and it rips a nervous smile out of me. Hey. She continues walking. I'm losing her. I quicken my pace to walk beside her. Are you, a relative of Jotaro's? Quick and straight to the point. What could go wrong? He glances at me almost accusingly. You're not even gonna ask for my name first? You're just dishing out all these questions about my personal life? Oh damn. I look back at her with a non-existent comeback stuck in my throat. Relax. Just a kid. Gotta set an example for the future generation. My bad, you're right. I'm Ezrael, and you are... Jolene. I catch the satisfied smirk she tries to hide. Nice to meet you, Jolene. She shrugs and keeps her eyes on the sidewalk we share. I guess. We both fall quiet. Just the sound of our shoes against the pavement filling the chilly morning air. This certainly wasn't how I planned my morning to go. If anything, I expected to be walking alone and anticipating the wild shit will inevitably go down once I arrive at Yaniku. Wasn't there something you wanted to ask me? Oh yeah. I look at Jolene with somewhat of a smile. Gotta set that example. Right. I just wanted to know if you're a relative of Jotaro's. I noticed she came out of his house. I'm his sister. Oh. Oh. He has a sister? Talk about unexpected. Oof. Not like that never happens to anyone. Right. Just weird. I mean, considering Jotaro. You're weird. That's fair. Sure, you shouldn't generalize, but damn. Kids these days. I probably shouldn't even be talking. I don't really know him. Uh, So, you're not one of his friends? Nah. Do you even have any friends? Jolene is quiet for a moment. Yeah, I'm not really sure. You're his own sister, and you don't know if he has friends? I shake my head into my tongue. The girl huffed defensively. Not like I know everything about him. He's always keeps to himself. He's always keeps to himself. What do you know then? He has this hat. A hat? He's always wearing it. Wouldn't be surprised if he were born with the ugly thing fused to his skull. Now that I think about it, he was wearing a hat the times I saw him. That's weird. I only nod in response. As we round the corner, we reach the intersection that branches out of our path. Jolene was due to turn left to reach the middle school where I need to turn right. Guess I'll see you around, weirdo. I force a smile and wave her off to then continue my walk to the academy. Academy. I walk past the school gates among fellow students and head, head for the building to get to class. Another day, another bizarre adventure. The walk home is quiet and peaceful. Nice change of scenery to get away from the chaos of Kinyuku. In in Gyonaku. I turn the street corner, down to my neighborhood. That's when I see her. Jotaro's sister. Shit. What was her full name? I stare at the back of her head as if trying to channel my hidden and unknown psychic abilities. Nothing. That's when I see it. Name on the name tag on her bag. I quicken my step to get a bit closer so I can read it. Jolene Cujo. She turns around. Oh shit. Hey! Jolene, right? She gives me a quizzical look before nodding. You were the one who gave my brother that homework, right? I recognize you from when you dropped it off. You saw me? Jolene turns to keep walking and motions for me to follow. I almost trip over my own feet to catch up to her. Oh, yeah, I was. Is he done with it? Yeah, actually. You need it back? You can come by right now and pick it up. Sure. Sure, I'll turn it in for him. He's done with the whole thing? Yeah, I know he probably doesn't seem like it, but he's pretty good at school. He just hates going to class. Relatable. We approach the front door of the Cujo house and Jolene reaches into her bag for her house keys. My brother is home, but he's probably asleep. So just hang out in the living room and I'll go get him for you. Right. I step in after her, my heart having the audacity to skip a beat. What's the big deal? I'm just here to pick up some homework. Sorry about the mess. We're both not the tidiest people. No, Mum? I probably shouldn't ask. He gestures down the hallway. Jojo's room is this way. Follow me. He opens his bedroom door without knocking or anything. Part of me has a heart attack. He's a teenage boy after all. Oh, he's not here. Oh, he's not here. Yeah, I see that. Hang tight for a sec. He's probably outside. He leaves me standing in the doorway of Jojo's room. Well, I gotta say, I'm a little shocked by the stuff I'm seeing. Seems so normal. I pause for a moment to take it in. Everything is blue for some reason. It makes sense. There's a rack of hats hanging over his bed and I can't hold back the smile that finds its way onto my face. I've only ever seen him wearing one of them, but somehow it makes sense he'd have a whole collection. I can see a lot of books he owns have to do with the ocean. Huh? Guess that's his thing. Once again, another unexpected thing about this guy that's throwing me for a loop. I sigh, accepting the fact that I probably have this guy pegged all wrong. Of course, I've only met Jojo once, and for a brief time to boot, but I certainly wouldn't have guessed his room to look like this. I tentatively sit on the edge of his bed as I look around, daring not to touch anything. I feel incredibly out of place. I just keep thinking back to Jojo's scowl. Is he gonna be mad that I'm here? My question is answered almost immediately as the bedroom door opens. I hop up from the bed, my chest tightening in a panic. What the hell are you? Homework. Your sister said you were done with it. He steps closer to me and that's when I can smell the cigarette smoke clinging to him. I am. You need it? Well, I can turn it in for you if you're not gonna come to class anytime soon. I offer a smile, insisting I don't mean any harm. He seems to understand where I'm coming from. But before we can say anything else, Jolene pops into the doorway. I can't find him. Oh, there you are. You shouldn't let strangers into the house. Whatever. Just hand over your homework. I have my own to do. He makes a face and grabs her bag before going back into the hallway. Also, you stink. Take a shower. Her voice echoes through the hall and I try to hold in a laugh. She's not wrong. I look back to JoJo expectantly. I'll be more than happy to get out of your way, buddy. Let's just try to figure out this homework situation. Seems to read my mind. JoJo moves on from the shelf to his desk. The look on his face telling me he's irritated. Sorry, my guy. I know this is something most of us would consider a waste of time. I try to keep my stare off him, and on the floor, lest I catch his gaze and he finds me even weirder for watching him. But the silence is heavy. I twiddle my thumbs and rock on my heels. The house is quiet, save for faint music. Oh, the house is quiet, save for faint music coming from what I can only guess is Jolene's room. Make some light conversation. I have to be careful with what I say. This guy seems like a ticking time bomb. One wrong move and he'll explode. You like oceans? More or less. He speaks up quickly, casting a look back to his bookshelf. Specifically, marine biology. There's a difference. Really? It all kinda looks the same to me. Honestly. They both deal with ocean things, right? I can see Jotaro give off a small sigh. He turns around, his expression suddenly serious, but not frightening. Oceanology deals with the ocean itself, the water. He holds up a finger, make his point. I kinda feel like a kid being taught right from wrong. Marine biology is all about ocean life. So, you like fish? He hesitates as he figures out how to answer me. Yes. Jotaro turns his back to me again to continue hunting down his homework. Do you have an interest in marine biology too? I can't see his face, so it's hard to tell what he's thinking. But this is the first time he's really asked me anything, isn't it? But I guess so. The ocean is pretty magical and mysterious at the same time. On Earth's natural beauties, yeah? I mean, what kid hasn't gone through an obsessive shark phase? With the conversation seemingly at an end, I let myself relax. Yeah, this guy's intimidating as fuck. But he's just a regular person like the rest of us, isn't he? Here it is. Hi, Gamer Kyle. How's it going? He holds up the packet of homework and steps up to me. First paper has the worn edges, but it's all filled out. I take it and flip through it to double check its completion. Thanks. I'll hand it in to Mr. Jonathan right away. Thanks. soon as he said it, he heads out into the hallway, leaving me alone in his room again. Huh. Okay then. I wait for a few seconds, but he doesn't come back. What am I supposed to do now? I wait for a bit before heading back out into the hallway. Not out here either. Alright then. My feet carry me to the nearby wall with pictures hanging off it. I lean closer to get a better look. There's a younger Jolene with the same kind of hairstyle. A younger JoJo who's smiling? That's kinda hard to imagine now. I scoff at the thought. Still, I don't think I'd pass up on the opportunity to see that. It'd be comparable to witnessing a cryptid with my own two eyes. But I'm sure no one would believe me. Hell, I don't think anyone would believe me if I told them that I somewhat befriended his kid sister. I actually went into Jotaro's house and poked around for the sake of my own curiosity. I pause and momentarily consider just leaving. Jotaro seems like the type who would wring my neck if he caught me snooping around his house. At the same time, not like I know enough to say that for sure. I shrug to myself and move on. Next thing that caught my eye until I end up finding the kitchen. What's the point of this game? To date someone from JoJo. All the JoJos are in it. I only poke my head in briefly, taking note of the fruit basket on the counter. I'd be lying if I said family portraits and unripe fruit was exactly what I was hoping to find while trapezing around Jotaro's house unattended. I look at the doors in the hallway. My left, the door has a gaudy sign on it. Jolene was painted in bright colors on the sign, and I can hear music from underneath the door. The other door, Jotaro's door, also has a sign. I tiptoe closer until I can read what's on the placard, and almost laugh. Jotaro's name is painted on this one, less embellished as Jolene's, and for a moment I consider the possibility that maybe he was the one who made it for him. Probably when she was even younger. Doesn't seem like she'd do anything like that now. I make my way deeper into the hallway, where another door awaits. This one has no decoration, but I can hear the sound of running water from the other side. That's gotta be the bathroom. Wait. If Jolene is in her room doing her homework, the two of them live alone. Oh. I guess Jotaro took Jolene's shower comment to heart. But really though? Did he really just hop in the shower without saying bye to me or showing me out? I guess I can't hold it against him too much. The guy seems pretty socially challenged. With a blush burning my cheeks, I decide it's probably time for me to leave. I make a hasty exit. With all that said and done, I make my way home. For a brief second, I find myself wondering if Jotaro was actually going to show up to class one day. If he never does, I'll definitely expel him. And if he's expelled, well, guess I'll never really see him again. It'd be a shame, but it is what it is, right? Ugh. Ugh. Part of me wants to take a note from Jotaro's delinquent book and just not go to school today. I stood up with a sigh. Time to get ready, I guess. On my way to school, I passed by Jotaro's place. I can see that their living room light is on. I bounce on my heels, debating if I should invite Jotaro to class and risk annoying him. Curtains are pulled open so I can see a bit of movement. I peek through the window, common decency be damned. I see... wait, is that... what I wasn't expecting? Then again, didn't know what I was expecting. Jolene is sitting on the floor with Jotaro behind her, hands in her hair as he delicately styles it. They seem to be talking about... what? Hell if I know. But it seems like a natural interaction. It brings to mind the possibility of Jotaro doing this for her every day. Thought of it warms my heart. It was so unlike the image of Jotaro I've held onto for so long. This rugged, secretive, bitch-faced delinquent carefully styling the hair of his little sister. I wonder if he was the one who dyed her hair for her too. Or at least took her to the salon and paid for it to get done. You lost your AirPod while you were asleep and it's 8 AM? Oh damn. I hope you can find it. I like wired earphones so I can't lose them. But maybe they were always this close. Or is this one thing they can do together out of all the other interests or hobbies? Not that styling hair fits Jotaro. But it really doesn't. Because it really doesn't. But seeing that it's something he's probably picked up to do for Jolene definitely sheds some light on the new guy. On the guy. What time is it here? It is 1 AM. I finally back up, not wanting to get caught, and go to the front door. I'm smiling and I can't stop it. I press the doorbell anyway. For a moment, I wonder who's gonna answer. But before I can put any more thought into it, the door opens and Jolene is standing in the doorway. I'm about to greet her when I notice one hair bun on her head, the rest is down unstyled. Gee. I could have waited a bit for Jotaro to finish up the hair. Jotaro, your friend is here. She hollers out before I can say anything to her and disappears back inside. Don't worry, I'll do the rest myself. I hear her talk to her brother from inside and I'm soon looking up at Jotaro Kujo himself. Jotaro just looks at me. Any hint of softness I saw minutes before had turned hard and sharp. You may or may not have spent $432 on an Oculus Quest 2. Wow, that's pretty awesome. They're a pretty good headset. Hope you enjoy it. Guess I can't really expect much from the guy. What are you doing here? Cool. I'm smiling too much, making it obvious I found out some kind of secret. Well, just wondering if you're gonna come today. He doesn't react at first. but he might as well have scoffed or rolled his eyes. Dunno. Well, it's not a hard no. Maybe there's hope. But, so if you do go, it'll probably just be on a whim? Probably. Such a man of little words. Then again, I suppose I should be grateful for the handful he's given me so far. Well, I guess I'll just go. I was gonna ask if you wanted to walk there together. I start to fidget on my feet. Being stuck under his gaze always seems to be daunting considering he's so hard to read. But he says nothing as if expecting me to continue. But if you haven't made up your mind, I'll just go. Don't want to be late. I force a laugh that sounds more pain than anything. And with a quick nod, I'm turning on my heel and leaving the property. I continue down the sidewalk, processing what just happened. It's a no-brainer that I don't know much about the guy, and what I witnessed only proves it further. JoJo has only ever been pretty evasive. He always seems to want to be alone, never says much of anything. Oh god, why do I even care? But honestly, I can't help it. At this point, I'm pretty invested. I think this all started from dropping off that guy's homework. Oh shit. What about my homework? I know I finished it last night, but did I put it all in my bag before I left? I stopped walking and unzipped my bag, finding the notebook. My latest assignment was missing. Without even letting myself process another thought, I turn around and run back home. I walk into class as ready as ever to take on the day. But a new sight pulls my attention towards the back of the class. Jotaro is sitting in his assigned spot, feet propped on top of the desk and hat pulled over his eyes. Is he asleep? More importantly, is that really him? Here? At school? As I approach my own desk, I get closer to him. There's no way this is some imposter. Who can mistake the edge of that jawline? I pull my chair out and sit down, my eyes still stuck to Jotaro. It's weird seeing him at school. Every time before this, I've only ever seen him at his house. Greet him. I clear my throat to announce my presence. Morning, Jotaro. Nice to see you here for once. Jotaro doesn't say anything but tugs the bill of his hat down further down his face. I can't help but see it as his own kind of greeting. Today I'll be matching you all up with a partner. Despite Miss Arena's sweet smile, everyone around me groans. Group work never has any fans, does it? Trust me, you'll all want a partner for this project. Her smile is unwavering as she refers to one of the objects on her desk. It's a sack of flour. You and your partner will be taking on the role of parents. Your assignment is to simply take care of a baby. In other words, a tender sack of flour. She picks up the flour and cradles it in her arms as if it were an actual baby. Some students laugh, already deciding this project will be no sweat. The atmosphere also lightens up, with most of us thinking it'll be pretty fun. Of course, it could be a nightmare depending upon who ends up becoming your spouse. You will be spending today's class time meeting with your partner, naming your child, and dressing it up. Ms. Arena sets down the flower baby, looks down at some paperwork on the teacher's podium. I've already divided you up into pairs, so listen carefully for your name and who you will be working with. I lean back into my chair, anticipating my fate. Whoever I get stuck with, I'm sure it won't be too bad. If it's someone who's a stickler for their grade, they're more than free to handle this project how they want. But if it's someone who couldn't care less, I can afford to step up and make sure we both pass. Azrael? I lift my head up to give her my attention. Oh boy. And Jojojojojojojo. Wait. Really? I look over to Jotaro, and he just nods at me. If he's already dreading this project, I don't blame him. He probably definitely most likely thinks I'm strange. But it's not like we're strangers. Miss Arena finishes up reading her list of pairs and turns us loose. One of you come up and fetch your baby. I also have other materials for you to decorate with. I turn back to Jotaro, but he's already getting up and heading to the front of the class to collect what we need. I can't tell what he's picking up, but he's soon making his way to me, arms full of miscellaneous craft supplies. I'm not gonna use all this, right? Maybe he had me in the mind. Maybe he had me in mind when he gathered them. Do I look like the crafty type? He nudges an empty seat nearby, closer to me, sets the stuff down on my desk. What are we naming it? Is it just me? Or does he seem a little enthusiastic about this? Let Jotaro name it. You can choose. I'm not the best with names. Jotaro quiets for a moment to think. He's really putting some thought into it. I start to wonder if he'll give up, and insist I come up with something. Then he holds up a finger. Juta. Juta? Jotaro shakes his head. Juta. Isn't that what I said? Like your name? No. He scoffs and grabs my pencil, scribbles something in my notebook. Juta. Oh. Juta. With that done, we just gotta personalize it. I grab the flour sack and set it between us. How do you want to do this? Jotaro fidgets with a roll of tape as he looks at the sack. Needs a face. He suggests poking at it. Right. So some eyes, and Jotaro grabs the sack and pulls something out of his pocket. It's a cigarette. I don't try to stop him, and only watch. What the hell is he doing with that thing? Jotaro tears off a piece of tape and attaches the cigarette to the flower baby. There's its mouth. He secures it with more tape and grabs some of the markers he brought over to draw a crooked smile. The cigarette is placed perfectly as if it's between lips. Huh. That is an amazing smile. I only look at it, stumped beyond words. I guess, yeah, that'll work. Now it just needs eyes. Jotaro gives me the marker. Your turn. I take it, tap against my chin in thought. Kid's eyes can make or break its looks. Not like I'm Picasso or anything, but let's see how this turns out. We'll draw cute eyes on it. This kind of world, rewarding to be cute as hell, wouldn't you say? Jotaro just shrugs and watches me draw. Sure, Y-esque eyes contrast harshly with the edge of cigarette. That makes our kid that much more unique. Oh my god. When finished, I cap the marker and show Jotaro. Cute, yeah? I guess. I pat the baby's head. Okay, Juta. Of course your dad thinks you're the cutest damn thing in existence. I ignored the weird joke. Look, I ignore the weird joke. Look. Fuck me. I ignore the weird look Jotaro gives me. Come on, man. Let's have some fun with this. Now the baby has a face. Both of us seem pretty satisfied, so I get up to return the rest of the materials. As I sit back down, Miss Arena speaks up. Before class ends, decide who is going to care for your child during the first week. You'll be switching parenting duty every other week till the end of the project. I look to Jotaro and pat the sack of flour. I'll take Judah for the first week. Is that okay? Jotaro nods, reaching to adjust the cigarette he taped on. Sure. This means you'll be coming back, right? At least when we have to trade off. He pauses and looks at me. It'd be a dick move to start ditching school again after making me a single parent. So let's be real. Yeah, I'll come back. He nudges the baby closer to me and tugs on the bill of his hat. Jotaro! I try to catch up to him with Judah in my arms. As soon as Miss Arena dismissed the class, he wasted no time leaving. But when he heard me call out his name, he paused and looked at me expectantly. Well, we live on the same street, so how about we walk home together? I offer a smile. Sure, we're not exactly friends, but we're getting there, aren't we? Before Jotaro can answer, someone bumps into me from behind. Startled, I drop Judah onto the floor. It all seems to happen in slow motion. I watched our child tumble out of my hands and splat onto the ground. My gut freezes in panic when I see the edge of the sack split open, flour spill onto the floor. Juta? Jotaro? I look up, but he's gone. Students walking by either laugh or express their sympathy, but I fall to my knees and try to scoop the flour back into the sack. What a perfect start to this goddamn project. Hasn't even been an hour and my baby is dead. I should probably hit up the market later to buy duct tape and more flour to fill up Juta. The bell rings, and with it begins lunch period. Jotaro's turn to take Juta babysit, but I haven't seen him all day. Of course, it's always possible that he ditched class. Old habits, am I right? But he did say he'd be here. At any rate, if he really doesn't show up today, I'll stop by his place and just drop off the baby. God, sounds like we're divorced already and it's only been a week. With Jotaro in my arms, I set off in search of Jotaro. I have no idea where to start, but I gotta try. My search takes me outside on a hunch. I look from left to right as I walk through the campus. Maybe he's behind the building, being a stereotypical delinquent. What? I walk right into something or someone that sends me falling into the ground. My parental instincts kick in and I hold Juta tight against my chest. This only means my arms aren't free to break my fall. My ass feels the brunt of the impact. Motherfucker. I tense upon feeling pain with a hit tailbone. My apologies. I look up and see a head of red hair. He's holding his hand out to me and I take it. With his help, I get back on my feet. Huh? This guy looks familiar. Thanks. No need to thank me. I was the one who knocked you down. He offers an apologetic smile and looks from Juta to me. Ah, you're Jotaro's neighbor, aren't you? And his partner for the home act. Whoa, who is this guy? Yeah, how'd you know? I take a step back. He seems to notice my rising suspicion. In response, he just bows his head in greeting. I'm Kakuin, a friend of Jotaro's. Wait, so Jotaro does have friends? Oh, I'm Azrael. Did Jotaro not tell you that? Not at all. He's only described you to me. What's he said? Really? What did he say? Kakuin just smiles at me knowingly. You're his neighbor and partner for home ec. Huh? Guess whatever it is, I'm not allowed to know. Well, what about you? Are you really his friend? He always seemed like the loner type. Maybe friend is the wrong word for it. He seems to think to himself. Talk about mysterious. Anyway, are you looking for him? I nod and hold up the baby. Yeah, It's his turn to take JoJo off my hands for a week. Kakyoin holds in a laugh and points behind me. Taking a break behind the school there. Once you see the dumpsters, keep going and you'll run into him. So I was right. Gotcha, thanks. I wave goodbye and pick up the pace as I head to where Kakyoin indicated. The smell of wet garbage welcomes me the closer I get. No way JoJo is willingly spending his time here. But I walk past the dumpsters as Kakyoin said, pick up on cigarette smoke, and pause. JoJo? I call out, not expecting much of a reply. Hey. I look over in the direction of his voice and spot him sitting on the ground and leaning against a wall. He's looking up at me with a lit cigarette between his lips. Oh, hey. I stand awkwardly, waiting for some kind of response. He only snuffs out the cigarette in the dirt and lets out a soft sigh as he stands. Sorry for disturbing your peace, I guess. What's up? I relax a little, realizing there's no real hostility between us. But he's not saying anything or even looking at me. So what are you up to anyway? I ran into your friend, Kakyoin. He said you're taking a break. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. JoJo shifts in his spot and falls silent again. Ah, nice one, Gamer Kyle. You found your AirPod. That took a while. Must have been well hidden. This is one hell of a break room. I glance around the area. Aside from being near the dumpsters, there's scattered trash and cigarette butts. Not to mention the crude graffiti someone scribbled on the wall he's leaning against. It is quiet, really out of the way. Not much people come through here, I guess. Perfect for Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome. JoJo scoffs at my remark and shrugs. Don't you have class? You have one sheet and 3 blankets, though you hadn't much to tear up. Damn. No wonder it took ages to find. You want to talk. Listen, I've been looking for you to give you Judah. You're weak to babysit, remember? Jotaro finally looks back at me, then to the flour sack. He clears the trash around him and pats on the ground. Yeah, just leave him here. Granted, if Judah was a living, breathing, any human, I wouldn't even entertain the thought of entrusting Jotaro, but I do as he says and set the sack down beside him. About time Judah got some bonding time with ya. Jotaro scoffs and lets a slight smile slip. He pulls his hat further over his eyes as if to hide it, and shoos me away. Right, you should get going. Lunch is almost over. Fine. Guess I'll see you around. I turned to leave and give him a slight wave as I head back. As I make my way back to the main building, the bell rings to signify the end of lunch. I pick up the pace to head back to my class, my mind lingering on Jotaro. Well, Gamer Kyle, I'm glad you were able to find that earphone. It was very well hidden. I really don't know much about him, do I? Despite everything, I don't have much of a grasp on who he is. For one, he's hard to read. For another, he seems really guarded. Of course, that can change the more time I spend with him, but will I really have the chance? Will he give me the chance? I can feel the weight of the thoughts he inspires hang over my shoulders. They keep following me all the way into the school building. As I make my way to school, I see a familiar hulking figure about 100 feet ahead. Jotaro! He pauses and turns around, giving me a chance to catch up. Morning. Where's Judah? Jotaro refers to his school bag, and we both start walking together. Safe and snug. Seriously? Is that how you take care of a baby? I can't be too mad though. It's safer in his bag than if he were to carry it around. How was babysitting duty, by the way? Did Jolene ask about it? Jotaro only shrugged. I just left it on the floor somewhere all week. Actually, I thought I lost it this morning. The apathy in his voice felt more than genuine. He really couldn't give a shit about this project, huh? Honestly, same. I can't help but laugh. However, part of me wonders if he regrets coming back to school. Honestly, same. Probably for the best, though. Handling around a sack of flour too much probably wouldn't end well. Hey, Tiger. How's it going? We continue to walk in silence. A pleasant sense of comfort and ease settling on my shoulders. Sure, Jotaro was intimidating, in more ways than one, but I think it's safe to say he and I are alright with each other. Maybe friends is overestimating things. We're certainly not enemies. The day carried on as always, and eventually the bell rang to let us know lunch was over. Now the last class of the day. That only means one thing. This baby project has come to an end. I left Judah with Jotaro for the day. While I make my way back to class, I keep an eye open for him. It wasn't until I turn the corner that I spot him. He seems to notice me too. We make our way over to each other. Yes, a JoJo dating sim. I can see Judah in his arms. And am I smiling? I press my lips together to hide it. When we're close enough, I begin to speak. Throw my hand out to wave. Thought you'd like this, Tiger. Hey, how was the kid? But while I tried to start some friendly conversation, I missed how Jotaro began to give me Judah. During mid-wave, I knocked the flour sack out of his grip and it smacks onto the ground. Flour spills out much like it did on the first day. I let out a shriek of panic and dropped to my knees. I've killed him! I've killed our baby! We've failed. We've failed as parents, as students, as responsible human beings. I ignore the other people around me as I try to desperately scoop the flour back into the sack, picking up bits of dirt and stray hairs along the way. In front of me, Jojo just stands there and watches. He starts to make a move to walk around me, but I look up at him. I'm sorry, I've pretty much given us an F. He only shrugs. Guess this makes us Humpty Dumpty's horsemen. Horses and men. Since we can't put him back together again? This joke catches me off guard and I let out a laugh. Since we can't put him back together again. I can't help but smile as I finish cleaning up the best that I can. But that's not how it goes. Jotaro looks at me as if asking for answers. I get back up, flour dusted all over my uniform. It's the king's horses and men. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again. He seems to ponder this as we walk into class together. I offer a smile, feeling as if maybe things will be okay after all. Whether we fail or pass, it was still fun. Miss Arena wasted no time on giving us our grades as we walked in. She instructed us to sit with our partners. I only took a look at the state of our flour sack before jotting down our scores as she travelled through the classroom. As expected, Jotaro and I failed. Even after Judah was sitting on my desk, flour was still leaking out. I look over at Jotaro, leaning back in his chair, head tilted up toward the ceiling with his hat over his eyes. He'd taken a nap. Extra credit? I had decided to let him be and I raised my hand. Miss Arena, do we get the chance for extra credit? All eyes in the class turned toward me. Some looked grateful, as if I asked out loud what they wanted to know. Miss Arena tapped her pen against her lips, in thought. I can give those who failed an extra assignment. How's that sound? A handful of the class voiced their approval. I caught some thank yous directed my way. Just stay behind a bit after class and I can give you all the details. With all that said and done, I glance at Jotaro. He hasn't moved an inch. Is he really asleep? You gonna do the extra credit work? If he is, I should let him know about it. Jotaro, you awake? Nudge his arm a bit and try to get a better look at his face. He suddenly tilts his head over and lifts his hat up enough to meet my eye. Yeah, I can read great. He looks really bored. Oh, you are? Well, then I guess you heard all that about the extra credit. Jotaro doesn't answer, but he sits up a bit straighter and yawns. Cute. He puts his hat back on, acknowledging his little nap is over. Are you gonna do it? He shakes his head slightly. No, but thanks. I turn my attention back to Miss Arena as she continues with the next lesson. Oh, that's okay. Just wanted to make sure you knew about it. Not really my concern if Jotaro does the assignment or not. But at least I let him know it was happening. Here, lately Jotaro's been coming to class more often than not. It makes me notice his absence even more profoundly. Today was one of those days. You're sending me the link for the Monbazo updates? Sweet as, if you could do that on Discord, that'd be best, Gamer Kyle. For some reason, seeing his empty seat in the back of the class puts me in a weird, melancholy mood. Mr. Jonathan walks in, and the chatter in the classroom dies down. He takes attendance, and I can't help but notice that he's in a really good mood. Well, maybe that's not the best way to put it, since good seems to be his permanent state of mood. He seems excited about something. Mr. Jonathan rushes through the morning announcements before taking a deep breath and beaming at the class. You're already on it, Gamer Kyle? Nice. I'll have to check it out. Last but certainly not least to discuss is, he pauses dramatically, the class field trip. The student erupts in excited chatter, and Mr. Jonathan waits a few seconds before speaking up again. This year, we'll be going to the beach. More excited chatter. My first thought is about Jotaro. Does he like the beach? Someone as gloomy as him probably hates the loud, bright, crowded atmosphere. Even still, I make a note to tell him about the road trip. The trip. Who knows? Maybe he'll surprise me. As Jonathan goes over the specifics of the trip, I find myself playing out how I'll bring it up to Jotaro. If I play my cards right, I might just be able to convince him. I go straight to Jotaro's house after school. I've already been rehearsing what I should say for hours now. As I walk up to his door, I'm drawing a blank. He'll probably just side-eye me, close the door in my face like he did the first time, did in our first meeting. Didn't make it any easier knowing that, though. I raise my hand to knock. I lower it. God, this is stressful. Azrael? What are you doing here? I sigh. At this point, I'm not too sure myself. What are you doing? I typically go to Jotaro's house after classes. He holds up a stack of papers. He likes to look over all the lessons from the day. Huh. So even if he doesn't show up to school, he still makes sure he's caught up. The fact that he actually puts in effort towards his education, even if it's a pretty roundabout way, is really surprising to me. Jotaro is an interesting guy. Your shower screams when you turn it on. I think your shower's haunted. Kakyoin drops me a wink. Don't let him know I told you though. Might tarnish the bad boy persona he's worked so hard on. I put my hand over my heart. The secret is safe with me. Kakyoin chuckles before looking me over. I'll let you know why I'm here. So it's your turn. I'll tell him. I kick my foot up and down. Kick my foot out and look down. Feeling a little stupid at my reason, but intent to tell him nonetheless. It was only fair since he told me his reason. There's a class trip coming up. I wanted to tell him about it. Kakyoin nods solemnly. Ah yes, the beach trip. Jotaro doesn't like going to class outings, so we normally wouldn't even entertain the idea of going. Normally? Well, this year is a little different. How so? Why, because you're here now. Kakyoin gives that I know something you don't know smile he seems so fond of. I'm sure if you ask him nicely, he'll come along. I feel like I'm in one of those old-timey cartoons where their whole face turns cherry red. I'm surprised steam isn't pouring out of my nose or ears. Just then, the front door opens. I thought I heard you two out here. What the hell are you doing? I was just having a friendly chat with Azrael. Jotaro hops. Well, go do it somewhere other than my front porch. Actually, Azrael had something to ask you. Isn't that right, Azrael? Part of me is grateful for Kakyoin acting as the wingman of the situation. The other, larger part of me is internally slinging the foulest curses at him for putting me on the spot. Jotaro is looking at me expectantly, his face completely unreadable. Damn it, I can't back out now. Thanks to Kakyoin, I guess I just have to get it over with. There's a class trip coming up. Mr. Jonathan was talking about it this morning. Jotaro's expression doesn't change, so I trudge forward. We'll be going to the beach. Still nothing. Kakyoin gives me an encouraging smile, egging me on. So, I just wanted you to know. Is that all you wanted to say? Kakyoin says. Kakyoin, you monster. No, I guess it isn't. Okay, here goes nothing. I just thought it might be funny if you went too. I mean, if you want to. If you aren't busy. If you're up for it. If you don't have plans. Okay. Now I'm rambling. I snap my mouth shut and wait with my heart in my throat. There's no way he'll agree, especially with my sloppy invitation. I want to melt into the cracks on the ground. The beach, huh? Sure. Sure? I'll go. Kakyoin looks happy, but not surprised. I, on the other hand, feel like I've just been sucker punched in the gut in the best way. Okay. I guess I'll, I take a few steps back to make my hasty retreat before Jotaro can change his mind. I stumble a bit, and Kakyoin hides a laugh. I'll see you later. I break into a dead sprint to my house. Holy shit. I did it. I did it. I think I should leave the beach for next time. Because otherwise, we could get a little too sucked into this and just spend the next 12 hours playing. So I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen today of Joe Starstruck. And I'll be back at some random time tomorrow to bring you whatever the fuck I find. So have a good one, and I'll catch you guys later. Hot men are always nice. Of course you think that, Tiger. Well, there'll be more in the future. So I'll catch you then.